There's been some recent updates to the second stimulus check, also known as the $2,000 a month stimulus check. Surprisingly, Republicans and Democrats are working together, and there's 4 new proposals for the bill, which I'll go over later on in the video. But first, if you want to know the latest news and updates when it comes to stimulus checks, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm coming out with daily videos giving facts and information about stimulus checks. I know a lot of you may be thinking, I haven't even gotten my first check. Why are we talking about a second check? I agree with you, but I think it's important to note that $1,200 isn't going to go too far for most Americans. The average price for rent is $1,400 for Americans, and if you live in a city like New York or LA, $1,200 isn't going to go too far. So I think it's important we keep an eye on the second stimulus check because we have no idea when this pandemic is ending and how bad the economy will go down. Before I get into the details of the new updates and proposals for the second stimulus plan, first let me bring you up to speed of how much you'll get and who qualifies. So if we look at this here, $2,000 payment is eligible. Americans would receive $2,000 in cash per month, guaranteed for at least 6 months. And these monthly cash payments would continue until employment to population ratio is 60%. By the way, numbers are hitting up to 16% unemployment, which is as low almost as the Great Depression. The monthly cash payments would not count as income, and the monthly cash payments would not adversely impact anyone's ability to qualify for an income-based federal or state assistance program. So SNAP, Medicaid, this money won't increase your income, like your adjusted gross income, to disqualify you from any of those government programs. You will still qualify even if you get to this additional $2,000 per month. Now let's talk about who would qualify for this $2,000 per month. So it's a lot more lenient than the CARES Act, which is what just passed with the $1,200 check that everyone should be getting. And just want to say that SSI, SSDI, and veterans should have been front of the line to get their checks. It's ridiculous how long they're waiting to get the $1,200 check. All right, with that aside, so let's go over income and age requirements. Every American age 16 or older earning less than $100,000 adjusted gross income annually will receive $2,000 a month. Married couples making up to $260,000 would receive $4,000 per month. Qualifying families with dependents as children would receive $500 per child, capped at 3 children, just like the CARES Act. The only difference here is that if you are an adult dependent claimed on someone else's tax return, you will receive the $2,000 per month as well. Compared to the CARES Act, which made a big mistake, a lot of adult dependents couldn't receive their $1,200. If you were not eligible for a stimulus check based on your 2018 or 2019 tax return, you will still be eligible if you submit at least 2 consecutive months of paychecks to verify your income. So if you made too much money to qualify for the first stimulus check under the CARES Act in 2018 or 2019, but you lost your job in 2020 due to the pandemic and everything that's going on, you could still qualify as long as you provide the proper information. So that's what we already knew. But now let's talk about the recent updates and new proposals that Democrats and Republicans are working together and putting forth their proposals. I just want to remind you, this is still in the proposal stage. Nothing has been done yet. But if we look at the first stimulus check under the CARES Act, it was signed late March, and people got their checks as early as April 15th. I'm hoping the second time around they'll learn from their mistakes. People will get their money a lot faster, and they will get it on through financial tech companies like PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, as well as offering a debit card for people to get their money on. And hopefully that process will make it more seamless, and our most vulnerable people in our country will actually get the money before, if not at the same time as everyone else. So here are the new proposals going on. Infrastructure upgrade. So basically, President Trump and Nancy Pelosi both agree that infrastructure should be included in the second stimulus package, which will help bridges, tunnels, roads, and this will create immediate jobs with infrastructure. As we all know, infrastructure is to prevent roads from crumbling, bridges from collapsing, and this will provide a lot of jobs. Another new proposal is fiscal support for states and local governments. This will provide funding for healthcare needs, educational services, transit systems, small businesses, basically to keep the state from filing bankruptcy. So Mitch McConnell has suggested that some states consider filing bankruptcy. So this is to help states and keep the business of the state flowing and running this way, that these states don't crash, and who knows what will happen after that. Also, let me know your opinion on the second stimulus plan. Do you think it's going to happen? Are there some flaws with it? What could we do better this time around? I would love to know what you think down in the comments below. So next is payroll tax cuts. So Senator Josh Hawley proposes that a refundable payroll tax rebate that would cover 80% of employer payroll costs up to median wages with companies affected by COVID-19. So basically what this is going to do is it will give employees higher paycheck, and employers won't go out of business because they will be helped and get a tax cut with payroll taxes, which will save the small businesses money and in turn keep them from going out of business and help our economy in the process. But if you are retired or unemployed, this will not benefit you. This is mainly for people who are working, and the employer, the companies get a tax break, and the employees will get a better check and actually get to keep their job. Next proposal will be no mortgage and free rent. So they're saying that for an entire year, your rent or mortgage payments of your primary residence would not accumulate any debt. And I guess this would help a lot of Americans out, since the largest payment that we make per month is usually rent or mortgage. Going further into this, I don't think this part has been hashed out properly, because it's allowing people who may have like a $20,000 rent or mortgage payment still be eligible to get that taken away, compared to the average American who has rent payment of $1,400 would need it a lot more than, you know, a multimillionaire paying $20,000 in rent. So this part I still think needs some work and some more provisions. Next would be student loan forgiveness. Presidential candidate Joe Biden is pushing for a $750 billion student loans plan. Members of Congress called for student loan forgiveness in the House. And I just want to remind you, if you currently have student loans, you're probably aware, if you have federal student loans, that there is a 0% interest rate for the first 6 months under this first stimulus plan, under the CARES Act. What they would do is they would suspend that and have no federal student loan debt collections. And those are the recent updates. If you want more information on stimulus updates, subscribe to the channel, or you could click one of these videos over here. Stay safe, take care. Thank you for watching this video.